The moment Bali extended his palm for the donation, Shukracharya grabbed his wrist, because some gifts don't just leave your hand. They leave your entire universe. The king stood under a bright sacrificial canopy, surrounded by chants and jeweled vessels, the scent of ghee and flowers thick in the air. Bali was not a small man in spirit. He was an asura by birth, yes, but also a ruler with a strange, inconvenient nobility. He had conquered the three worlds, and yet he still wanted to be known as generous. Across from him waited a boy, Vamana, a young brahmachari with a humble umbrella, a water pot, and eyes too calm for someone asking anything of an emperor. The boy's feet were dusty. His voice was soft. "A little land," he said. "Just 3 steps." The court smiled. 3 steps? The king could grant that without even turning his head. But Shukra, the guru, felt something sharp in the air, like destiny hiding behind innocence. He leaned close, urgent. "Maharaj, this is Vishnu. Do not promise. Once you give, you cannot take back. He is asking for your sovereignty itself." Bali looked at the boy again, and something in him, pride, devotion, the need to be bigger than fear, rose up. "If he is Vishnu," Bali said quietly, "then refusing him would be the true defeat." Shukra tried to stop the ritual. He even blocked the consecration water because vows are sealed by water. But truth finds cracks. The water flowed. The promise was made. Vamana smiled, not the smile of a child, the smile of the cosmos remembering its own shape. The air changed. Vishnu's attendants appeared, silent, radiant, like pillars of daylight. Aditi, mother of the Devas, seemed to breathe again somewhere beyond the scene, as if a long prayer had finally been answered. And then the spectacle. The boy began to grow. Not growing like a person grows, growing like perspective breaks. His body rose beyond the canopy, beyond palace towers, beyond cloud layer, until the boy was a horizon. The camera of your mind tries to keep him in frame and can't. It keeps zooming out, past mountains, past oceans, past the curve of the earth, because Vamana is no longer standing in Bali's courtyard. He is standing across worlds. Trivikrama. 1 foot lifted, and with the first step, he covered the earth. Not metaphor, not poetry. The soles of the Lord's feet became sky itself. Rivers and kingdoms turned to tiny patterns beneath that vastness. Bali's palace, his elephants, his banners, everything he called mine, shrunk into a dot of glitter in an endless field. The second step, he covered the heavens. Planets, stars, the realm of gods, everything that looked unreachable, found itself measured by that stride. The universe felt suddenly intimate, like it could be held. Bali's throat tightened, because now the math was simple. 2 steps taken. Where is the third step supposed to land? The king looked around as if space might invent a new place to offer. Shukra's face fell. Even he couldn't argue with this scale. And here is where the human heart becomes the battlefield. Bali could have begged. He could have tried to twist the vow. He could have blamed the trick. Plenty of people do that when they realize they promised more than they can afford. But Bali did something rarer. He bowed. He placed his crown forward like an offering. "My lord," he said, voice steady, "I have no place left to give. Except myself. Place your third step on my head." The attendants watched. The worlds held still. And the third step came down, gentle and final, like a seal of surrender. Not a stomp, a blessing. In that touch, Bali felt something collapse, the identity of a conqueror, and something else rise, the freedom of one who has nothing left to defend. Vishnu's gaze softened. "You kept your word," he said, as if honoring a promise mattered more than the side you were born on. He granted Bali a kingdom beyond loss and a name that would outlive his enemies. Because in the end, this story isn't about Vishnu taking. It's about what you become when you stop clutching. A king offered 3 steps of land and discovered the only ground that never disappears is humility under the feet of the divine.